Hello.
Hello.
Weeb Warriors podcast, episode 5. I think it is now.
Yeah.
Episode 2 of Things to Doing. And this episode, we're going to be focusing on Shibuya. We're going to work our way out from Shinjuku. So, Shibuya being literally the city next to Shinjuku. We're going to go with that one. We're going to go through the same sort of format, anything food. We're going to go through the locations and anything food or drink related. We'll just mention in accordance to which one we're on. So, with that addressed, does anyone have anything that they'd want to go to specifically first?
I mean, I can do, but, you know.
Feel free. Shoot your shot.
Alright, so probably the most famous thing about Shibuya is Shibuya Crossing. I feel like that's the thing that everyone... In fact, I reckon most people, if they've never been to Tokyo, they've seen Shibuya Crossing. They might not know that they've seen it, but they've probably seen it. It's featured in a bunch of movies.
It's a lot.
It's
photographed a lot.
Videos, yeah, everything. It's in like all sorts of stuff. So yeah, if you're heading to Shibuya, it's right outside Shibuya Station. You take the Hachiko exit, which we will come to later, I assume, because there's more on that.
Yep.
But you take the Hachiko exit straight out of Shibuya Station, and then you are literally right there. That crossing over the road is Shibuya Crossing. Has anyone made notes on Shibuya Crossing, or do you want me to run with it?
I've made
I've made a bit
list of movies and stuff it's featured in. But
Yeah, go on.
So
I didn't note that down. So
before you go, watch Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. Because apparently it's in that. I don't know. I haven't watched it. For one of the Resident Evil movies, I haven't watched that either. Tokyo Ghoul, it's in. I think a couple of times. And Kingdom Hearts, was it?
Yeah, it was in the
Yeah,
last
it was.
Kingdom Hearts,
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts 3. Sora wakes up there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and one more thing. There's a Starbucks that overlooks it, which might be a good place to go and chill in to watch the crossing. And get some
if
food.
you don't want to cross it, maybe. Or if you just want to see it from above, which I guess would
It'd be
pretty
good for
cool.
a picture or something.
Yeah, so apparently...
Sounds mad that a crossing would look good from above, but honestly it does.
Yeah.
It's the crowds. Yeah.
I think there's you guys have probably never heard of it, but there's a group called Lady Baby. They're sort of like a metal, like a kawaii metal group in Japan. Their lead singer used to be an Australian wrestler dressed as a maid. But he's left now. But when he was in it, they had a song, and I can't remember the name of the song, but Shibuya Crossing. There was a cool aerial shot of Shibuya Crossing in that song. So if you like your Japanese music, you've probably seen it before. But yeah, so apparently 2,500 people cross it at a time. So it's pretty busy.
2,500 people cross it at a time.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I knew it was a lot of people. It felt like a lot of people when we went there, but I didn't think it was 2,500.
Yeah, so that's the average apparently of people crossing it. It is a lot of people though, to be fair. It's big, isn't it? Because it's 2 crossings. If you've never seen it, it's 2 in an X. So X gonna give it to you.
But yeah,
It's,
if you do go,
sound
just
here.
be prepared for crowds.
Speaking of box sounds, what a segue.
If you don't know what that segue was into, it is into a statue which we have seen, which has a very, very heartbreaking but also kind of heartwarming backstory too. And we are, of course, talking about the Hachiko statue. Now, if you don't know what the Hachiko statue is, or if you haven't watched mine and James' vlog, well, we've told you to countless times. Link are in the description. It is a statue of a dog. It was commemorated, so what was the film? I can't remember what the film was called. Was it Heihachi?
Maybe. I don't know. This one's you. In my notes for this, I've put Jake will tell this story.
Great. Brilliant. I think there was a film that came out which kind of briefly explained it, and it's about a guy who adopted a dog and looked after it since it was a puppy. I think it was an abused and mistreated dog, and this very kind man took ownership of it, gave it a good life, and unfortunately they were the best of friends. He'd always walk to the train station with the dog to Shibuya train station with the dog. And the dog would wait there until it came back, or sometimes it would be at home and it would run to the station when it knew it was when his owner was gonna come back. And one day, unfortunately, the owner passed away. I think it was due to cancer.
It was at work as
and
well.
the dog never knew, obviously. And so it basically ran away because I think the wife was... Yeah, the guy was married, but I think the wife was kind of depressed and, like, didn't really care for the dog after her husband passed away, so it ran away. And it just stayed at the train station waiting for his owner to come back from work every day. You know, little did it know he was dead. But I think it mainly survived there just due to the generosity of the people who would always, like, treat it at the station, like the station staff and just general passerbys and stuff like that. So, because it stood there, and anytime someone would try and, like, take the dog or move it, it would always get very aggressive because it didn't want to, obviously, leave its owner. So, in honor of it, they built a statue where it used to stand and wait for him. So, it's kind of heartwarming, kind of heartbreaking, but yeah.
And they also named that exit after him as well.
Yeah.
It's the Hachiko exit.
Yeah.
So when you
And
I
then
think
the
they have
statue
a
is
wall
right on top
of
of it.
art.
Oh yeah,
They have, like,
There's
a
a
weird
wall-
art wall just
Yeah, as you
behind it, dedicated to
come
him.
out of the exit on the right, there's like a mural dedicated to him, and then dead ahead you'll probably see the dog statue because it's like right there, and there'll be a ton of people standing around it.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
there's
it's
a
also
huge crowd usually trying to take pictures with it, so...
literally right on Shibuya Crossing, basically. So those things are right next to each other.
Yeah.
Which isn't helpful because then you've got a big crowd next to the dog statue, next to the like 2,500 people trying to cross the road. So, but you know, it's cool.
Most people try and get a picture at the dog statue before they cross to the crossing, just because it's like they have to wait, obviously. But we
Very
managed to sneakily just jump in and get a photo dead quick.
And then recorders stood there talking about it and telling the story as well.
which you can go and watch.
Yeah.
Again, links are in the description for mine and James's vlog.
Wasn't Morgan's mum there or something? Didn't that happen?
Yeah, I remember something about this happening, but I don't quite know the story. I was too busy explaining the story to the vlog, and something was happening with Morgan's mum in the background.
I don't remember that.
Didn't someone ask you if someone was your mum or something? Something happened with your mum outside
Yeah.
this dog statue.
I'll have to watch the
That's
vlog
not
again.
your mum joke, by the way. Something actually was referenced in the vlog about Morgan's mum, and we can't remember what it was.
Oh, I think was someone trying to take a picture, and I was like, "Oh, I can't remember what it was." I think I was waiting to get a picture
Mum?
of something. It wasn't me.
Morgan's mum tapped her on the shoulder and went, "Can you take a photo of me?"
Did you get that in the
Brilliant.
vlog?
I think
dunno.
it was in either mine or James's, because I remember you two were sorting out whatever that was, and I was telling the story.
Oh god.
Because
We'll
then
go
I
watch
came
that
off
for
and
the
James was
story.
like, "Oh, Morgan's mum's over there," and I was like, "What are you on about? What are you chatting?"
I think
So,
it might have
I
been.
don't know. Go and watch the vlog for the explanation.
I
was
think it
probably
might
in
have
there.
been like I was waiting to take a picture for a while, and someone like pushed me forward or something. I don't know. But anyway,
It was Morgan's mum. Morgan's mum pushed in front of her so she could get a photo with the dog. Let's go with that for now, shall we?
cool.
Sounds accurate.
Okay. Moving on from the dog statue. Morgan, have you got anything written down about Shibuya?
I wrote about Yoyogi Park.
Take the floor.
So it's a big park. They're known for having like quite a lot of festivals and events and stuff like all year round. So it's worth like if you're gonna go to Japan and go there, have a little Google beforehand and see if there's anything going on. Go on that day. There's no admission fee either, so it is just free to like go in and wander around and check out. Anyone else has anything to say about that?
I think isn't that where there's a shrine in there, isn't there?
I
The
believe.
John Drew Meiji shrine
Oh,
Yeah.
isn't it? And also, like when I normally go in April, they hold a food festival there of a weekend, and which by the way, best nudes I've ever had. Also, nudes, just to be clear for the podcast,
Not-
are noodles.
Noodles. Yeah, noodles.
Best nudes I've ever had in Yoyogi Park at the food festival, and they also had on the same weekend, which I assume happens every year because every time I've been in April, this has been there. There's like a car festival. I think it's a Mitsubishi car festival, and they have like a bunch of different cars there that you can like test drive or like just like take photos in or take photos of. And they have little like mad little stunt show things and stuff like that. So yeah, stuff is always going on in there by the looks of it. We saw an artist there once as well, carving a face into a tree, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, I did read, like, when I was researching it and stuff, it said, like, it's a cool place to go and just, like, be yourself kind of thing, because it's, like, a lot of, like, artists go there and, like, musicians and things, because apparently, like, you're not really allowed to practice music in, like, apartments in Japan and stuff. So, like, a lot of people go to that park and practice music there, which is
Yeah,
cool.
I went there to play Pokemon. I went there to raid.
That's valid, too.
That sounds decent, to be fair. I can back
It is
that.
cool.
Get some good water Pokemon by the lake, and then there was a bunch of different gyms there to raid in, so...
Worth checking out. I'll check opening times before you go as well, if you do go, because I think it said something about, like, most parks in Japan, it closes in the evenings, but sometimes the times are different, so just...
Did you say it was no admission as well?
Yeah, no admission
So you
fee, so it's free to go in. Whether that's changed, I don't know, but it should be free.
Again, we should probably clarify this, like we should start doing for every video, as obviously this is our research from what we've experienced. Things might have changed since we've gone, so...
I mean, if you're going
bear
right
that in
now,
mind.
good luck doing anything.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Also, the Jonju Meiji Shrine, just to cover that quickly, and this is literally off the top of my head, because to be fair, I didn't know whether... I might be breaking the fourth wall a minute here, but I don't know whether we're going to do a whole episode on Harajuku or not. But Yoyogi Park, like, Harajuku's on one side and Shibuya's on the other, and Yoyogi Park's in the middle. So I didn't know whether we were going to cover Harajuku in its own episode, or whether...
Yeah,
I don't know.
I
wrote it down for this one, but I was going to see if anyone else mentioned it first, to be honest, so...
Because it's technically not Shibuya.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'd say make it its own thing, because there's a lot to cover in that one.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot we can say about it. So,
Alright,
we can probably cover that in a different one.
Just to quickly cover the shrine then. From what I remember off the top of my head, it was to do with, and we'll definitely cover this when we do Harajuku, because I don't know enough about it off the top of my head, but it was something to do with sake. I remember there was a wall full of sake barrels, and then like information on that. So that's literally all I know off the top of my head. But if you like sake, go and check out the shrine. It's massive.
Shrines are always gorgeous,
you have to like walk around it. Like it's a big huge gate, and then you go in, and then like probably like 1/3 of the park is dedicated to the shrine, and you sort of walk around it, and it's got information as it goes and like tells you a little story. But yeah, if you want more information from us on that, check out the Harajuku episode. We'll definitely mention it there. But if you like sake,
is that...
go and do a little Google, find out.
I've wrote about a shrine, but it's got a different name. Is that the Meiji Jingu Shrine?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
What did I say?
Because I don't know. It might have two names, but yeah, just because I've written that down. But if we're not talking about it now, then I'll leave that.
Sure. Well, that is it. If that's about sake and it's in Yoyogi Park, then that is it.
Sweet.
Awesome. Yeah, so that's the shrine ticked off for me. One thing I think you two will probably want to go into depth for with this is Tower Records.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the other Tower Records kind of just down the road from the Shibuya crossing. Now, do you two want to take this one? Because obviously you're more aware of the whole thing than I am for it.
One thing I remember from it was, I think it was on the top floor. Like we went.
Actually, first, what is Tower Records?
James, you do that.
I feel like everyone's heard of Tower Records, right? It's globally famous. But the Tower Records in Shibuya, there's a bunch of them around the world, but the Tower Records in Shibuya is one of the biggest ones, I think, in the world. It's a record store. It's absolutely massive. I don't know how many floors off the top of my head, but it's like 7 floors or something, maybe even bigger than that. When you come out the train station at Shibuya, like you see it in the sky, it's a big yellow building. It says Tower Records in like red neon on it. So yeah, it's a record store. Every single floor is dedicated to a different genre of music. If you're into music, you definitely want to go and check it out. Not just Japanese music either. Like, it's literally everything. It covers all types of music. I remember, like, I went there once to get. In fact, I got a baby metal album this year, didn't I? When we were there.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, and a magazine or something.
Yeah. The Baby Hammer, the Baby Metal Hammer magazine. Wow, that was a mouthful. Yeah, and so if you don't know what you're looking for, because it's massive, the reception on the ground floor, you can just ask them whatever you're looking for, and they'll tell you where to go and get it. Like I said, every floor is dedicated to a different genre. Someone's got like multiple genres in it because there's tons of music in the world. But yeah, but one of the special things about Tower Records is it's not just a record store. They hold events there. Most commonly, meet and greets or sign-ins, as well as sometimes live acts as well. I know when we were there was some sort of meet and greet going on.
Yeah, wasn't there a performance in there, the meet and greet?
Probably.
Yeah,
I don't think we've seen the performance, did we? I've seen a performance there before, so they definitely do.
I remember. I think there was a performance because I remember there was a black curtain sort of towards the back, and I could hear like music and like an audience kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then I think when that was done, we like sort of took a little peek around the curtain just to have a look at what it was, and it was like a bunch of people just getting stuff signed and
It was like a meet and greet.
a stage and everything. So I think there was like a little performance followed by like a little meet and greet, which was pretty cool to see just a normal. It's like going to HMV and just having like some live performance or something, and getting something to sign there.
That's another
some
thing.
Sort of like idol group or.
Yeah, it was. I did take a leaflet, but I can't remember the name. But like that's another thing. If you do plan on like visiting, have a look on like Google for any events that might be going on there and time it well.
Yeah. Speaking of baby metal, I want to say 3 years ago when I went, it was when Metal Resistance came out. They had an event on, a VR event on the very top floor of Tower Records, and it was like you went up. They were obviously selling the album there, and that they had like a photo shoot section where like they basically had like a green screen where they could swap out different baby metal stuff, and you got your photo taken in front of it. Then they had like a museum, like a mini little baby metal museum with like all their costumes through the years, like their stage show costumes that you could see. And then in like the back room, they had a VR thing set up where you went in, you put the VR goggles on, and then like you were in the middle of like a stage, and baby metal performed around it.
That's cool.
It was pretty sick, like. And that was completely free. Cool. You didn't even have to pay to enter that. God. It just happened to be on when we were going, and I was like, I definitely gotta go and check this out. So, yeah. Did you
do it? Did you like put the?
Yeah, I did it. It was sick.
That's cool.
And they had like, because obviously there's 3 of them, so they sort of had like 1 in front and then 2 behind either side, and then you could just like spin around and watch wherever you wanted. It was mad. It was sick. But yeah, if you're going to Japan and you plan on going to Shibuya, definitely see if you can find out online what events are going on in Tower Records and see if you're interested in any of them. Because even for the sign-ins and that, I think you've got to go get like a wristband or some sort of ticket to get in. You can't just like wander in on the day and go and get a sign-in or something.
Yep.
Yeah, do you know what? I'm not a huge, like, I just stream music. I'm not really a fan of like buying stuff for music. I just like listen to it, and that's good enough for me. But even going there, seeing the amount of like the different range of music they had, like first floor was like all different genres of like European music. Then they had like the second floor, which was all different genres of like metal music, then rock, then pop, then K-pop, then all sorts. It was mental. Like,
oh yeah, it's worth going if you're into K-pop, because they have a whole K-pop floor, and it's they've like it's separated because they've obviously like. If you like K-pop, you probably know most K-pop groups release Japanese versions of their albums for Japan specifically, so you can obviously get them there, but they also have the Korean versions as well. So, yeah, pretty sick.
You get like the special editions of them as well, can't you? The things that like come with the collectibles, so like posters or what are they called? The little photograph books.
You always get little photo cards and stuff in most K-pop albums you do.
Yeah, so you can get them there as well, which is pretty cool, because I know most people have to order them from either Korea or Japan.
Talking from experience, it takes a while.
Western companies. Yeah, well, exactly, yeah. So definitely worth, if you're a fan of music in general, definitely worth going there. And if you're a fan of K-pop, it's definitely worth like putting it on your agenda.
They always have really cool displays as well, especially for like the new releases and stuff.
They have like cardboard cutouts and everything, don't they?
Yeah, and like TVs showing like live performances, and then I don't know if our like HMV's not still doing it anymore, but they've got them listening stations.
That's
I know
what I
we
was gonna
Yeah, I
definitely
was
used
gonna
to
say
have
that.
We used to, yeah.
them. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
so you can go and listen to some of the albums to see if you want to buy that specific one. You can just hear what tracks are on it and things like that.
Which is
Or they wanna
perfect
be-
if
yeah.
you visit in Japan, because there's gonna be a lot. There's gonna be a lot of Japanese music there that maybe you've never even give Japanese music a chance, or But you can see how you feel about it. Maybe you'll discover something.
Or if you want to be spontaneous, just go pick up an album and buy it, and then listen to it.
Yeah, just pick up a random one.
See how you feel.
You might get
At
cool
your
free
own,
stuff.
at your, at your own, on your own
At
headbit, but
I got like 1 million flyers when I bought my album
Oh yeah.
for like, which I'll get onto. Alexa's button in. Which I'll get onto.
Alexa, stop, man.
Later, but like advertising like the Shibuya nightlife basically.
Oh yeah. That is a point though.
Sweet.
When I bought, because I bought a 17 album, when they put like leaflets in, I got a picture of JB from GOT7. If anyone likes K-pop.
Oh yeah.
So they just threw in like a random little gift, which was sweet. So it's worth going and like maybe buying.
Didn't
something.
someone get just like little wristbands or something when they bought theirs? Or am I just imagining that?
Don't think I did. It might be a
Might be
thing they do.
imagining that.
But...
Sweet. Yeah. So Tower Records, slap it on the list.
I mean, this
Um,
probably is obvious, but there's no entry fee because it's a shop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Unless
the
you go
shop,
into
so
like one of
there's-
those events, just
You're
check
only
that.
paying for what you want to pay for. So that's fine. Okay. Next I've got on my list is granted we didn't do this last time we went, but we're hopefully gonna do it this time we go. Apparently there is a few decent manga cafes in Shibuya. Now, a manga cafe is pretty much what you'd expect. It's like a cafe where you can just go and like read manga. Like they've got a ton of different. It's like kind of like a cafe with a library, kind of, except it's like all comics. So they've got like pretty much all the versions and chapters of whatever you want. You obviously have to pay an entry, and I think you pay based on time. So sometimes you can go for like half an hour. Sometimes you can go for an hour. Sometimes you can go for like a few
most
hours.
theme cafes, isn't
I remember seeing one researching, and it let you stay the night there
Yeah. There's one.
for like
I don't know
24
if,
hours.
the one we were gonna go to, was that one in Shibuya or not?
Do you remember what the name was?
I can't remember.
I've got the two that I've got written down that were here are Sasazuka and Geta Geta.
No, I don't know off the top
They
of my
ring a
head.
bell now.
But I know like you can definitely stay overnight in some of them. Like you get a little bed and a tiny little room to yourself. Apparently, it's compared to hotels as well. Obviously, you're not getting like the same luxuries as a hotel, but apparently it's a really cheap way to spend the night, especially if you're only going to like Tokyo for a weekend. If you're into manga, why not
Doing
go
for
and
a
stay
night,
in a manga cafe for a weekend? They have, at least in the one we were gonna go to, they have like showers and toilets and all that. It's communal because it's not a hotel, but like it's there. You've got everything's there for you if you wanted to stay in one.
It's worth checking
Although
out.
I think for the ones that have like obviously toilets probably won't cost because it's just a basic thing. But I think the one I saw is like you have to pay extra for like the shower and stuff.
But
but I
can't
think
see
it's
it
only
being
like a couple
too
hundred
expensive,
yen. Yeah. Although weirdly as well, I saw that there was different prices for male and female, so just double check that. I don't know if that's the same with every single manga cafe, but
That's strange.
in the one I saw
was more
it was
expensive?
like male.
That's weird.
Obviously, because
Weird.
it's probably likely that more males read manga and stuff.
Yeah.
I imagine.
To be honest, I bet part of that is it's cheaper for the females because they want more females to go because then it's
Yeah, probably
it's a more
popular.
natural environment for a guy to go and meet a girl. And if there's
Yeah,
no girls
probably.
there, they might be like, what's the point? But like, if they think they can go and read manga with like single ladies,
I can't. I must not sing the song.
Smooth. If you're interested in that, then by all means, feel free.
I mean, I'm
Oh,
sure
I'm
there's
not
tons
gonna
of
judge.
Japanese guys that are.
I'm
Yeah.
talking about like our Western audience.
Good luck. Unless you can speak Japanese, good luck.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So
check it out.
as I said, the two I've got written
Actually,
down that are the
speaking
most pop.
Speaking of
Go on.
that, did they have the ones you looked at? Did they have English volumes, or is it all Japanese?
Good question. I didn't see.
Check that out on Google.
I
before you
assume
go.
they will have. Yeah, I assume they probably will have English versions, but they might be very limited, I imagine. Because it seems to be a very. It's not as touristy as some of the other attractions.
Yeah.
It's kind of more their own culture.
Definitely worth
I
researching
know some of them
before you
do have
check it
them,
out.
but yeah, if you want to go to one, probably
Yeah,
either
research
contact
first.
them ahead of time or Google and see if they've got English volumes.
Or like other
Yeah.
people's reviews on it or something.
Yeah. Yeah, so the main two I've got written down are Sasazuka and Gera Gera. Shout out to you guys.
Check them out.
No, you're watching.
Okay. Does anyone? I've got one more thing on my list, but I'm gonna save it for last. So, does anyone else have anything else?
I've got a couple things. So
My
Go
list
on.
has run out.
this one's gonna be very niche,
Go on.
but if you like football, and I mean
I know where you're going with this.
maybe not even just watching football, but if you like playing football, there is a very famous football ground. It's not a stadium because there's no teams like ground or anything. So the football
Pitch.
ground. Yeah, well, is it a pitch though?
Kind of.
On a rooftop in Shibuya. It's called the Adidas Futsal Park, and it's pretty famous in its own right. It was also in Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, which Morgan mentioned earlier. It's right above Shibuya Crossing, so like you could probably even see it from up there.
It's probably another one of those things that you've probably seen it even
Yeah.
if you don't know it.
Not realised.
If you've ever seen a rooftop football ground in like an Asian
Probably
looking
that one.
Tokyo setting, it probably was that one. Now, unfortunately, like it would be a really cool place to like get photos of and whatnot, but it's not free. And I was looking last night into how much it actually costs entry wise, and you pay per hour, not per person. So it's actually not so bad if you're going in a group, but it's 5,250 yen per hour. Which obviously is not enough for a game of football. So you'd have to at least get 2 hours. Now, 5,250 yen. At the moment, as I discovered this morning, the pound has got absolutely trashed. So 5,250 yen is 37 quid. So it's £37, nearly £40
Thanks,
an hour.
Brexit.
Yeah.
Love
So
it.
if you're gonna do it, I would definitely recommend going with a group of people, or see if you can tag into a group. If maybe they're doing
Yeah.
5-a-side and they need some numbers or whatever, I don't know. But like, it's definitely not worth paying 40 quid just for yourself to go up there and get some photos. You're gonna want to play a game and probably have a group of people with you. But yeah, if you're into football, definitely check it out. It was also in Volta in this year's FIFA. It was one of the stadiums in Volta. So
It was, yeah. I remember playing it, and it looks sick. To be fair, it's like really. It's not just like a random pitch they've slapped up. It's like proper. It's like developed properly.
yeah, and pretty unique as well. I imagine it'd be quite a cool experience to be playing
Yeah,
on
gotta do.
top of a skyscraper in Tokyo.
To see like the
Yeah, it'd be
skyline
very
and everything as
weird.
well, it'd be cool.
Yeah.
And
Um,
obviously, for those people that are smart and trying to comment, what if you kick the ball off the building? They've got a cage around it.
Yeah, that'd be well
Just thought I'd
dangerous.
clarify that.
There's only 2,500 people underneath crossing the road, so
Yeah.
True.
On your head. Everyone just looks up.
yeah.
Jeez.
Morgan, you got anything?
No, I had Harajuku on the list, but we're gonna do that in another episode, aren't we?
Okay, well, all right. So this is not something I've ever done, but you might be into it. So
Oh god.
if you like,
I know where this is going. This is on my list as well.
It might
I
not
think.
be. It might not be.
I think this is if this is what I've got written down.
Oh god.
I feel like it's not as bad. I've got two things though, and it might be one of them, but it's not what I was about to mention.
Okay, go on.
I was literally going shopping.
Okay. No,
Like-
it might be the other one then. I think you
Alright.
know what it is.
Well, Jake can come up next with this thing because it's obviously he's leading to it and also. But yeah, if you're into like, and I'm talking like high brand, like expensive like designer
Hype
fashion.
beast.
You can get it in Shibuya. There's a couple of different like shopping malls in Shibuya that have like all those stores in them, but I think the most famous one, hold on, I wrote it down. Shibuya 109. It's called. It's a massive like shopping mall full of like different little fashion outlets. There's a bunch of shops around Shibuya, but like
isn't that the one which is like most recognizable from the crossing?
yeah,
It's like
I
that kinda
think it's
circular
directly
looking
over.
building.
Like
Yeah.
if you come out of the station, it's like opposite. Yeah, there's like a Forever 21 next door to it. If you
It's
remember
like
that.
it's kind of like a circular building. It's got 109 written
Yeah.
on it. Yeah.
That's it. Go in there, and it's not just hypebeast stuff. They've also got Japanese, normal like Lolita and stuff like that in there as well. So like the unique fashion to Japan is also in there if that interests you. But yeah,
I
don't
think
know
that might be.
a terrible amount about it because it's not really my kind of thing. But
I think that might be where the Starbucks is as well. So if you are going to go in there, might be worth
Yeah.
getting that view of above Shibuya Crossing.
Yeah.
right, I feel like Jake's been building something up here. So
Oh God.
Now I want to clarify this with.
oh, I know what it
Well,
is. It's
well.
He's
just dawned
regretting
on
having
me.
that reaction.
Have you not got it written down? Did you not have it written down?
I didn't because I thought it would be irresponsible to mention it. But
I'm just trying to tailor to every audience.
Yeah.
So
You've
I
done
wrote
great.
I wrote it down. So if you haven't already guessed what it is, Shibuya is apparently a very famous and popular spot for love hotels.
Oh. Yeah, I
Now,
didn't know this.
does anyone want to give us a definition of what a love hotel is, or should I take that honor?
I'll let you take it. You know.
Okay, a love hotel is essentially what you'd expect. It's basically just a hotel where you go to like.
Does exactly what it
Hook
says on the
up.
tin.
It's like basically yeah. It's. I don't think you can actually book in for long durations, and if you can,
No.
I think it's usually like themed ones.
I think you
Like,
pay per hour.
Yeah, it's like per hour. It's
Yeah,
basically
similar
just
to
to
the
go
football.
and yeah, maybe even cheaper. So
I would hope so. You
I
don't want to be going there with a group, and well, maybe you do. I don't know.
yeah, it's whatever you're into.
God.
If you want to go with a group, go with a group.
Oh.
I can't say I've experienced it.
Just,
I can't say I ever will experience it. I'll be honest.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think-
Google everything about this because our knowledge on this is going to be very limited.
But you do have to have someone to go with, right? It's not just like it's not a red light
I'd
district.
assume so.
I don't know. You know, I think some allow you to go on your own, but
But
what's
but
the
they don't
point in that?
supply people, right? It's like
No, there's no. It's not like a
Yeah.
service. So if you go on your own, it's kind of pointless.
It's like with
But
like
I
I
think
mean,
you
unless
can
you just
go to
wanna-
someone your own.
have like an hour's nap. You might want a power nap.
Yeah, if you're just in Shibuya and you're a little bit tired from carrying all that like
oh God.
shopping around or something, you want a
It could
little
definitely
power
happen.
nap for an hour.
Or just go, you know, the
but yeah,
manga
so-
cafe that lets you sleep over.
True.
Yeah, but if you want a
Choices.
quick nap,
Different strokes for different folks. Literally. in
oh,
some
don't say
cases.
strokes. Don't say strokes.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
Uh,
Oh well, yeah. So our knowledge on this topic is very limited, but I believe, yeah, as James said, it's a short fee, a short duration. So obviously the fee will be quite cheap, I imagine. Yeah, you do you.
I would say if you've been there, tell us in the comments, but like I don't know if I want to hear those stories. So
Yeah, I don't.
yeah.
Tell us about the experience of the hotel itself.
Yeah. How are
Were the
they?
rooms
I wanna
nice?
know
Were
what-
they
how, like-
themed?
I want to know about the hygiene in those rooms.
Yeah. What's the what's the washing schedule like in that
I bet
place?
I bet it's dead good though. With it being Japan, I
Yeah,
bet it's like.
It's
sound.
got to be. It's got to be. Honestly, it's probably like the amount of people that probably use them. They've probably got to have like a good cleaning system
disgusting.
and like a repeat one as well. I imagine.
Yeah, wonder how much the cleaners are.
Oh God, that's a point.
I mean, they deserve they deserve a blank check. I reckon, as
Yeah.
their pay wage. Some of the shit they probably have to see, and sometimes it's probably literally shit as well.
Oh, what?
Who knows? Who knows? People are into all sorts of mad
No.
stuff.
Oh, Jesus.
Speaking
that
of
one's for free.
speaking of wages, though, that brings me nicely onto my next thing, which is again something we didn't do, but maybe next time we go. So there's a place in Shibuya called Nombe Yokocho, which is also colloquially known as Drunkard's Alley. And so it's an alleyway in Shibuya, a tiny little tight-packed alleyway. Either side of it on the left and right is lined with small little bars, and then lanterns all the way down. So it's quite photogenic. It's like when you imagine those like small little lantern-lit alleyways in Tokyo, this is exactly that.
It's like what most photographers
Yeah.
usually take a photo of when they go to like Japan.
I feel like I've never been, but I kind of want to go and experience it. Maybe even just to take a photo, or maybe to drink there. I don't know. But apparently, it's really, really popular with the Japanese salarymen, which we've discussed before on previous podcasts.
A
So
little personal time, so
yeah, just to like to relax and unwind for them, I guess. And it's a little bit off the beaten path for like tourists and that. It's not like your regular kind of bars. They're tiny little rooms where like there'll be like one table in there, the barman, and then like 8 or 9 people sat around a single table. So it's very, very close, and you pretty much got to talk to the people that you're sitting with. But I think as a tourist, it might be quite interesting because they'd all be like, "Whoa, English
Go and
person."
socialise, yeah.
You'd be famous for a night, I reckon. It could be quite cool.
Probably.
But even if you're not into
depends.
like drinking there, I reckon it'll be quite sort of picturesque. Be cool to get a little photo in the alleyway, because especially at night with all the light
At night
lanterns
with
lit up.
the neon lights and stuff, that would look sick. Especially if it's like rainy as well.
Yeah.
If it's raining nighttime, neon lights, banging photos.
And I'm not 100% sure because we've not been yet, but you know, stay tuned because we might do.
Japan Vlog 2 on the way, hopefully.
I'm guessing there's probably seating charges in these bars with them being so small. Probably not just paying for your drinks, probably seating charges as well. So be careful of that. Like, make sure you definitely want to go in and drink before you go in because you'll be paying before you've even sat down.
It'll probably be that type of bar as well, where once you're done, they'll just bring a drink over to you automatically without you having to go up again.
Yeah, especially if it's salarymen, because I feel like that's kind of all they do all night. They come out of work and they just drink. There's even like, if you Google salarymen, there's photos of them just like asleep on the floor, like in the streets, because they don't even bother going home. Like they'll come out, have a few drinks, fall asleep drunk, wake up and go to work. Such is the life of a salaryman.
I mean, I just imagine that it's the type of bar where once you've finished, they bring you another drink purely because they probably don't want a lot of people standing up and moving around, and
you know what, though?
it's quite a small place anyway, so they probably just want to keep it as organised as possible.
I'd love to go to one and find a guy like a salaryman, but that can speak English, just so I could talk to him about what he does and like his life and that.
Yeah,
because I reckon that'd be interesting.
That's what I was going to say before, of like, if we go this time, it probably depends on how good their English is, whether or not we'll be famous or not.
It's happened though. White glasses.
White glasses. Shout out to White Glasses.
Yeah, stay tuned for the Akihabara episode. I'll talk about white glasses in that, probably, maybe.
The Legend of White Glasses, that will be called. That episode.
Yeah, I've got like, did you guys note down any food places or anything?
No.
Oh, I forgot to, but I remember the one. Didn't we go to one there? Or was that somewhere else that I'm remembering? Wasn't there a barbecue thing?
What, the chicken one where me and Morgan had the chicken?
Yeah.
That was in Shinjuku, and annoyingly we never mentioned. We missed out the whole Koreatown on the Shinjuku episode.
Because I forgot it was there. I thought it was in this one.
So did I. And when I was doing the research for this one, I was like, oh, it wasn't in Shibuya.
We'll cover it in this one anyway, because why not?
Why not?
Sure. I mean, they're next door anyway, so. Annoyingly, though, again, this off the top of my head now, because I've not made notes on it, but I think it's called Shin Akubo, is its actual name. But it's also known as Koreatown. If you just Google Koreatown, you'll find it. But I think it's Shin Akubo.
That's right. I think that's right. I think that sounds familiar to me anyway.
And that's literally just a whole strip. Like, if you imagine, if you're a Westerner, you're probably aware of Chinatown from wherever you're from. So just imagine that, but Korea. So it's full of stores selling K-pop stuff,
Yep.
Korean branded things, and Korean
I've got a story about that.
eateries
actually.
like Korean barbecue and all that stuff.
Yeah,
It was like it was heavy on BTS last year when we went.
Didn't we
There
see
was a
some
lot.
famous guy?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
There was yeah. Yeah, I got
At
that.
one point, I think we were standing outside a shop or something, like deciding on where to go for food, and like this like entourage of people walked behind us, and we were like, "Oh, don't know who these are." And then like someone who was with them handed us a leaflet, and it was any K-pop fans out there. It was Infact, I think they were called, and I didn't like I'd heard of them, but I didn't really know who they were. But yeah, Infact passed us on the street, and we didn't know who they were. So yeah,
Yeah, but they walked right past us. So
yep.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember them like some dudes walking past us, and then there's just a bunch of girls following them. And I was
I
like,
made
what the hell
I
is
made eye
happening
contact
here?
with one of them. Pretty who the fuck it was.
Now you can just become a fan and then retrospectively freak out about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll
Did
get
you
back to yous
know
on
I
that.
happened to meet such and such? F.
What are you doing?
My headset needs charging.
Unlucky.
Just continue without me for now. I said continue.
Well, we couldn't hear you.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, if
okay.
you want to go check that out.
Yeah, if you like K-pop, check that out. If you're in Shibuya, you've gone to the wrong place.
Am I right in saying
that's our
like
bad.
some of the shops as well? Because I know like a lot of
Sorry.
Korean groups and stuff will like advertise like skincare products and things like that. There was a lot of shops that sold that kind of stuff as well.
Oh, yeah, there was. Yeah,
Which is
there was like tons
And
of
just
makeup. and
general
that.
K-pop merch. So I think you guys both got some like BT,
oh yeah, I
BTS
got
stuff and
I got 17 photo cards.
17 stuff.
Yeah, I got a wrist strap for my army bomb,
Shout out to BTS.
which is
and
a light
17.
stick.
Oh,
you watching?
If you're
yeah,
not
and there was
familiar.
light sticks and stuff as well from previous like
Oh, God,
concerts
yeah.
and stuff. We should probably mention. Although I think they were like considerably more expensive than some of the other stuff that were in there.
Well worth checking out though.
I've got two more things to mention about Shibuya, which
Go
I'll
for it.
quickly cover. So one of them's a
While
foodie
you're doing
spot.
that, I'm just gonna fix this.
One of them's a foodie spot. If you're into sushi, which I'm not, so we've never
love
really
sushi.
checked it out. But it's apparently pretty famous. It's like the most famous sushi spot in Shibuya, at least. It's called Genki Sushi. And what makes it unique is that you have absolutely zero interaction with any of the staff. So you go in,
Oh yeah.
you sit down at a table, and then there's a tablet on the table where you place your order. Once you've placed your order, your food just arrives on a conveyor belt, and then you take it off and you eat it, and then you leave the money on the table, and you leave. So
Yeah. If
I
you're not
feel
one
like
for social interaction, check it out.
yeah,
If
and
you're heavily introverted,
and just
Perfect
as
place.
a tourist, you might be nervous about like you might not know much
Oh, yeah.
Japanese
Oh, yeah.
or whatever. You don't need to because you can just go in, order, eat, and leave without having to ever interact with anyone, which is pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
To
it's
be
handy
honest.
have.
I think there's more places like that. I don't think just like obviously that one's specifically sushi, but I think
Yeah.
there is other places that are like that.
There's,
Don't just do
um,
sushi.
I think I don't know where it is, but if you Google Ichigo, or is it Ichiban? Ichiban, it's Ichiban. Ichiban
I
ramen.
think it's Ichiban, yeah.
Which means number one in Japanese, by the way. That is like you don't interact with anyone, you don't speak to anyone. You go in, sit down, and it's all like a
Water,
single
yeah.
booth. So you're in there on your own. You sit in your own little booth. They have like a window with like a shield down, and then like that slides up. They slide the menu out. You tick or like circle what you want on the menu, slide it back in, and then they close their little window, prepare the food, open the window, slide food out. So you never see or speak to anyone in that as well. That's the same. Not even the people you go in with, because you're in like a one-person booth. So
Can you,
if
like,
you're
even, like,
an
pop your head
introvert,
around and be like, hello? Though?
yeah, sure
You
you can.
make
But
just
I don't know if you're meant to be talking, because I feel like people go there specifically to not
Oh, yeah,
have to
maybe.
deal with anyone. So I feel like if you were talking to the people next to you, everyone would be like,
Yeah,
these
fair.
fucking guys.
If you do, just try and stay quiet, maybe.
So
It must be so weird to do that though, because it feels like you kind of like it feels almost like strict. They're just sliding the menu out, expecting you to for you to like
It is
circle
like,
something
yeah.
without asking questions and stuff, which might be what you want, to be honest.
I do understand it though, because like I know like when I'm eating, I'm like I get super self conscious. It's just like it's like a natural thing, but yeah, it's a good place to check out if you are a bit like nervous about speaking to people. Or something.
Especially
even if you're not, it might be an experience to try.
Yeah, true.
If you've gone on your own as well,
and
you
yeah,
nervous about that kind of thing, then why not?
Feel
and
free.
the only other place I noted down, which again is not really my thing, but it might be yours, is the nightlife in Shibuya. Is apparently pretty tippy top. So they got a bunch of. They've got everything from like tiny little taverns, which we mentioned before, to like restaurants, karaoke joints, and then nightclubs. And I like. Again, I didn't really note them down, but Circus Tokyo was one that was coming up a lot. But I would definitely just Google around and have a look. Bunch of different nightclubs that do live performances. Globally recognized DJs come to Shibuya to perform in those nightclubs, so it's not just like your regular road.
I think it's like high end type of luxury night out type of thing.
It's proper like legit nightclub stuff. I would just say probably prepare yourself for very steep drink prices, because I imagine it's crazy pricey.
And probably entrance fees as well.
There'll be entrance fees. The drinks will be ridiculous.
Dress codes probably.
Yeah. But if you're into your live like music and nightlife, then Shibuya is the place to be.
Yeah, check it out.
And
Japan.
for me, that pretty much wraps up everything on my list.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I mean, we can maybe go through some of our own personal opinions about some stuff because we've still got a bit of time. So we can probably, unless Morgan, have you got anything else on your list?
No, it's just Harajuku, but we're doing that in a different episode.
Okay, we can probably go into some personal stuff about like what we would want to do, what we'd want to see. And I'll start that off with by saying, so I'll jump back to the manga cafes. So hopefully when me and James go this year, in October, hopefully we'll be doing one of these podcasts in them as a special episode. Fingers crossed. Morgan, if you feel up for staying up till 3 o'clock in the morning to join us for that, feel free.
I'll get me manga books.
But yeah, so it's like a good place to kind of like, I imagine, I don't know how it's going to be. Is it going to be like a library where you have to be quiet, or?
I'd assume you've got your own room now.
Yeah, I imagine if you've got your own kind of booth, you can kind of do whatever you want in there. But
yeah, the one I looked into had like one of the options, because there was different levels of like what you wanted out of it. Because you don't even have to get a room; you can just pay to sit in the like main bit where the books are and reading there. But then it went up and up and up. But one of them was literally called a media room, which was like your own room. It had like beanbags and seats in, and then like a computer and all that stuff. So I feel like, and that was for groups as well. It wasn't just for one person. So I feel like you've got to be allowed to talk in them, surely.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. If it's called something like a media room, I imagine it probably will be somewhere like you can probably use as a filming location.
And from what I remember, it wasn't that expensive, because we looked at it and we were like, yeah, we could do that.
Yeah, I remember you mentioning it.
Yeah, I mean, even the one I mentioned before, like, I think it was like I think even though the males were more expensive, I think it was like 200 yen for 30 minutes, which isn't too bad. I think like 200 yen is less than £1.
I might get away with female prices.
You probably could, to be fair.
Good.
Just put
They'd
some
be
makeup
too polite.
on and you'll be fine.
They'd be too polite to question it though, and be like, "Are you though?" So.
Did you just assume my gender?
True.
You have to learn that phrase in Japanese.
Sure.
But yeah, so hopefully we'll be filming one of the podcasts from that location and kind of giving you a rundown experience of what it's like being in one, what to expect, what it's like, what we have to pay, if there is English chapters. So stay tuned for that episode.
Yep.
Does anyone else want to go into anything?
Shibuya specific.
That might intrigue you,
like, the only one for me was Drunkard's Alley. I kind of want to check it out.
I mean, I'm willing to go this time round, just to see what it's like. I imagine it would be less touristy thing than usual, but
Yeah,
that
but I feel
kinda
like
intrigues me.
you'd be like we'd intrigue them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why it interests me. That's why it interests me, because it's like it's not what your typical place would be like, where they're all like, not to say that it's like a rough place, but it's like obviously people tend to handle tourists with like kid gloves, so it might be a bit of a different vibe.
Yeah, I reckon if you could find someone in there that spoke English, you'd learn some well interesting stuff. Like it'd just be a proper
Probably,
good little
Yeah,
chat with them.
About their life as salarymen and stuff like that,
Yeah.
first hand.
And then who knows? Maybe we do that, and then we can tell you all about it in the podcast.
Yeah. Or make a new friend and have him on the podcast.
Oh, you know what would be amazing?
If we got white glasses,
Well, that would actually be phenomenal if that
that
happened.
would be incredible.
I wonder if you asked around, how famous is he? If you asked around about white glasses, maybe. Because everyone in there knew him. Everyone knew him.
We kind of need to give a little bit of a. Obviously, the full story will come.
You got to tune in. You got to keep watching if you want to find out about white glasses.
Just about like what he is.
He's a guy, and he was wearing, on the day I met him, black glasses. But there's a
Stay
reason
tuned
for
to
that.
Find out why he's called white glasses.
There's a wild story.
He's kind of a local legend, apparently.
Yeah. So, keep watching, because I'm not sure when we're doing that episode, but it's coming.
It's gonna happen.
But what I was gonna say was, it'd be awesome if we went to one, we met some salarymen, and they were down for forming a five-a-side team, and then we rented out the stadium on the roof and played a game of football.
Brilliant.
That would be sick.
When you go.
That would be pretty fun.
We get all
Just
three
us
things.
two. Just us two playing a bunch like five-a-side with a bunch of men in Japanese men in
I reckon
suits.
the
Yeah,
big people
they'd love it though.
down
From
They
Liverpool
probably
as
would.
well.
They
Takumi
probably
Minamino.
would,
That'd be the
That would be
best
like,
day of their
if
life.
any of them were
Supposed to be
Liverpool
going to
fans,
Liverpool
that would be their fucking dream.
Yeah.
Apart from obviously playing with actual Liverpool players, football players,
Oh,
that would probably be
They
like.
don't know. We're in the youth academy. They don't know.
Go to the.
Imagine, yeah, true.
Did you?
In the
got
youth
our kids
academy,
with
it's
us.
like
Morgan?
Salah's younger than me, but I'm in the youth academy for Liverpool.
Did you mention? Was it a Liverpool cafe in a pub in Shinjuku? Is that what we mentioned last episode?
It's in
that's not in
Ibisu.
Shibuya, is it? Yeah, it's in Ibisu.
We'll
Which
go
we
there.
will cover in a future episode as well.
I reckon people there
Yep.
would be down to play with you.
True. Oh yeah,
If we
that's a good
just-
point. We could go watch a game, and the whole time we'll just be recruiting people for a five-side team.
We have to make sure to take our kits with us so that we could say we're in the
Yeah.
youth squad. Sounds younger than me.
Yeah, but mine's
Youth
got
squad.
M Salah on the back. Like,
Ooh, mine's got Virgil, so it might be a bit of a. I am Virgil van Dijk. Did you not know? The cameras make me look way taller. That would be so funny.
yeah, I reckon.
Oh, that would be.
I
on.
reckon that's possible. I
Yeah,
feel like you'd find some people that were
imagine-
down for that.
Imagine like that made someone's like a salaryman's just finished work. He's had a shit day. He's gone to Drunkard's Alley to get a drink. Some Liverpool lads turn up who claim they're from the youth squad.
God.
Start playing five-a-side with them. He goes home to his wife or his girlfriend or whatever and goes, "Guess what happened to me today?" Like, what? I played with some Liverpool football players on five-a-side.
Oh god.
Made this year. It'd be class.
And then they
It'd
watch
be
this
so
vlog
funny.
and they're like, "Oh,
If that happens, we are definitely vlogging that.
please."
Yeah.
That is definitely going to be a full-on
Oh, man.
100% effort.
We'll set like
vlog.
GoPros up in the corners of the cage so we can
Yeah.
film the whole game.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Watch us get trashed by some
For
sick
once,
Japanese
for
skill.
once, we would be picked first for football teams because we're
You're the
like
captain.
the Liverpool youth squad,
And then be awful.
and then be all absolutely dreadful. But it's fine. We were letting them win. We were letting them win.
Yeah, it's only polite, isn't it?
Yeah. That would be pretty funny. Yeah, I'm definitely down to do Drunkard's Alley.
Please do.
Yeah, I feel like that's it. Aside from like, I'd like to go and see the football pitch, but that's if we can get the numbers for it.
Do it.
Yeah, it's can't. Yeah, I mean,
I honestly
It's
think
probably.
people will
I
be
was
down.
gonna say we could probably go up and have a look, but that's probably when you get charged for it.
Yeah.
Like,
Unless
probably
you can
can't just
watch
go up,
the
have a look
people
at it
on
and-
there, maybe you can like watch people play for free, but you have to pay to actually get time on there. I don't know. We'd have to check it out
Maybe.
and report
Yeah,
back.
Have a Google.
we'll see, and we'll see if it's possible and put it in the vlog if, regardless of what happens. But yeah, I like to go and see the shrine.
Yeah,
So we
that's
didn't
something
do
I
last
wish.
time.
Well, I've seen it
Oh, sorry.
twice.
We're going. We're watching. We're looking at the shrine.
Yeah, take comfortable shoes. That's something I wrote down because like it's a big walk.
That's Morgan's life advice: is wear comfortable shoes.
It's pretty big, to be fair.
The gate's massive. Like
I
was
mean,
looking at pictures of it.
I just wore running shoes the entire time, and I was alright. But I just wear running shoes all the time anyway. So
Yeah, just make sure you're wearing shoes. Don't
Oh,
be
I wrote
barefoot
down-
in
Don't
it
go
around
barefooted.
Tokyo. It's mental.
For that
What are you doing?
shrine, I can't remember if you mentioned it, but there is an entrance fee in there.
Is there? I don't remember paying.
I think
But
so.
I also might
That's
have
what
just
Google
forgotten.
said, but obviously that might change.
Well, if you research it and it says it's an entrance fee,
Well,
then
yeah.
I believe Google
Just
over
prepare
me.
for if you do go. Just prepare for that.
yeah, again, do all your own research before you go.
hmm
The viewers.
We can't be
Yeah.
held
Um,
responsible for any false information.
yeah, all of our information is only valid up until the 24th of August, 2020.
Disclaimer: don't sue us.
If you go after that, don't sue us if there's don't sue us if there's something that we've missed.
But if there's something there that we mentioned and it was awesome and you had the time of your life and you feel like you want to, donate, then hit us up.
PayPal link will be in the
The
description.
comments are open for any experiences you guys had as well.
Yeah, if you
Yeah,
had any
true
good
that.
experiences at any of these places,
Maybe not
or
about
if
the
we've
Love
missed
Hotel,
something.
but that's up to you.
Well, I mean,
No,
or the Love
some
Hotel.
details about the Love Hotel, like not about what happened in the
Yeah,
Love Hotel,
probably not.
but about the Love Hotel itself. Maybe, put a brief description of what that was
Yeah.
like in the description.
Maybe about like a
Or
proper
comments
sick
even.
power nap.
Fair enough.
I mean, I just want to know if they're just normal like hotel rooms, or if they're like some sort of themed ones or something.
I think
like
there's
that.
probably
Just-
things in the hotel rooms.
Yeah,
'Cause,
like,
like-
a bed.
Well, yeah, but is it like, is it just a basic bitch room?
It's got to be
That's not
super
very
basic.
romantic, is it?
Well, I don't think it's meant to be romantic. If I'm being honest.
Is it not?
Like,
I think I'd at least try a little bit.
It might be. I don't know. I've never been in one, and I'm not planning on it. So
So if you've been to one, put that type of description in the comments. But that's it. Don't
just
put any more.
a vague of like what the hotel actually is, please.
Yeah. And yeah, if you've had any good experiences at any of these places, or if you've missed anything that is in Shibuya that you've done that you thought was noteworthy, slap that in the comments below. And yeah, I
including
think that's gotta
things
be it.
as simple as like a cool place to eat, that are
Yeah.
like awesome
Cool place
food
to
or
eat,
whatever.
cool place to drink, cool
Recommendation.
place for tourists, cool places for whatever, basically. Just anything you think that you enjoyed when you went there yourself, or if you'd enjoyed if you went there.
Yeah. And anything
But with that, I
to
think
add
that's
to
going to
what we
wrap us up
said.
nicely. Yeah. So stay tuned for the next episode, which I think we have decided the town.
Have we?
Wasn't it the other one Morgan said? Was it
Akihabara?
Akihabara?
Oh, okay. Oh,
So the next one,
here's a tantalising little tease for you then. White Glasses is coming next episode.
there you go. You don't have to wait that long for it. Only a month. But,
It could have been much worse. Could have been much worse.
It
So,
could have been.
But in the meantime,
It could have been
watch
2
our last
months.
episode, which was on Shinjuku.
yep.
Yeah, do that. Also, don't forget to hit the like button down below. Obviously, leave the comments, subscribe, hit the bell so that you get notified when we upload. And yeah, go check out our old videos. But with that,
Yeah.
I'm going to sign out. Janet.
Well
Bye.
done it. Different strokes for different folks, literally.